Hello.
We're live?
We're live.
Beautiful.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Proof of Good DAO Hall. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Jeff, should I just get things started, or do you have anything? Did you want to do any intros?
No, I think that we're slated to hop right into the agenda here.
Yeah, so sorry for the late start, but we've got a few very exciting updates. A lot of the things that we have been talking about, in previous DAO halls, finally coming to fruition. But that's just a little teaser. Before we get to that, I want to introduce our special guest for this DAO hall, Adam Russell from the Reveal project. We spoke to the Reveal team back in May, so a few months ago, and talked to them about how they are solving some of the copyright and the false, sort of NFTs and all of the fraudulent problems with NFTs. Coming from a space that can be misunderstood and is kind of has a lot of bad actors in the space, kind of painting the entire space with a bad brush. It's always great to talk and work with folks that are trying to make it a better space, do things that are improving NFTs and Web3, and looking at ways that we can work with them and endorse them and help get their product out there. And so Adam has agreed to join us this week in our DAO hall, talk a little bit about Reveal, that project and what they're doing in the NFT space, which I think is a real value for what we're doing and what other projects in the NFT space as well. So with that, Adam, take the mic.
Hey guys, hey Geoff, Devin, thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm super excited to be here. Just came back from LA. We were actually at the Metaverse 2022 event. Got a chance to speak on stage over there on protecting the metaverse and where the metaverse is going and what you need to do if you're going to get into the digital economy of the future. You've got to protect yourself. So I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit of my background, and it'll kind of really set the stage of why we created Reveal and what it's about. And so back at the end of the 90s, early 2000s, I was involved in cybersecurity protection. And so we actually did risk assessment and vulnerability assessment. And what that basically means, we took white hackers, we'd have them go into major companies and hack them. And then they would find if there's a vulnerability, and then we'd sell them a software solution and a hardware solution. And fast forward to 2014, I actually got involved in the XR, which is mixed reality, virtual reality, and augmented reality. We actually worked with a company called Firewall. 0 Hour was the first PlayStation VR game with a company called First Contact Entertainment. And also we learned that at that time, it was so early. And fast forward to 2016, I got involved in blockchain. And really quickly, I got excited about the project. I'm an advisor to many projects, an investor, and a thought leader in the space. But one of the things that I learned after all these years of getting involved in ICOs, IEOs, ICOs, DeFi, DAOs, and of course NFTs, and now the metaverse, is it's really easy to get scammed. It is so easy to get scammed, and no matter where you go, what you do, you can't hear about somebody either their Bored Ape is getting stolen, or copyright problems, or people are getting their wallets connected. They go to Decentraland, and if you didn't write the word Decentraland and you wrote the words Decentraland, you go to a fake spoof site and it connects your wallet and you lose your money. And I realized that as a degen, I was getting scammed even buying NFTs. And if I'm getting scammed, the masses don't stand a chance. Like, somebody's got to come up with some type of a solution. So that's why we came up with the idea of Reveal. Our tagline for Reveal is all will be revealed. So we're going to reveal you if you're a fraud or a scam, or we're going to reveal you if you're real. So when you think about security, think about the only two real security companies the average person thinks of is McAfee and McAfee and Norton, right? And then it's that annoying thing running in the background in your computer that you need to renew it. Why? It goes on every computer that was shipped. Also, or if your computer's bogging down, it's because there's a scan running in the background. So people have a negative connotation to security, but I'd rather need it than not have it, and have it and not need it. And so when you think of Norton and McAfee, you wouldn't know those names unless it had the word antivirus right after it, right? So now think about the future. We needed to be able to look at Web3 and the metaverse, NFT marketplace, gaming platforms, and the metaverse. We wanted to create some kind of anti-counterfeit protection. So we created Reveal 360. So think of us as the Norton 360 of the protection for the metaverse. We're integrated at the creation level, and allows us to put a marker that basically follows it through its journey. And it now can validate creation. We can also provide in the future, and I don't want to go too deep into it, but invisible shield of protection around your avatar, cross-world protection. So you can go see, when you look at a metaverse, there's verses, and then we have what they call the multiverse, kind of like Doctor Strange in the multiverse. That's a real thing. You're going to need to have a wormhole or a portal between different worlds. And we actually are going to be creating that type of model where we have the ability to have security across the 4 major metaverses that we work with. The people who are hosting the event in Las Vegas, were TCG World. And they have 800 square miles of fully developed digital space, full physics, where you can fly in a dragon or drive a car and have all kinds of cool brands. And it's just amazing. And so we're partners with them. We own commercial land over there. We work with Metaverse, META VRSE. They're rolling out the mall of the metaverse. They have a 100-story mall with 1 million square feet per floor. We own a floor over there. And we're going to have a Reveal headquarters across all of them and build a sandbox where we can have interoperability between multiple worlds. And then when you're inside the world, I want you guys to ask yourself a question. In the future, when you're in there, you're going to have a digital identity. Who's protecting your digital identity? How do I know it's you? Devin, how do I know it's you that's in there? Because right now they can do a sampling with AI, with Google AI and OpenAI, and they can literally look at your social footprint, and they can look at the dynamics, the tonation, the inflections in your voice, and they can take a sampling of what you sound like. And now you have an avatar. So you could be a dragon or a unicorn or your real avatar. And how do I know you're not AI? How do I know you're not a 13-year-old girl and there's a 55-year-old man behind you? How do I know that when you go to interact in someone's mansion, you go click the wall to look at that Bored Ape, that it's a real Bored Ape? How do I know that when I'm in that world, I click on something and it's not malicious? Or how do I know the world isn't malicious? Because there's going to be thousands interacting with. So think of us as Reveal 360 as a protection to the metaverse and beyond.
That's amazing. And so I know, we kind of talked about, at some point, maybe possibly like using it for insurance purposes and, and things like that. But can you get a little bit into the technology and how it works and, how, I love the idea of like this world where I'm going and I have like my Bored Ape displayed in my living room, and you can just like, you can touch on it and like, and it brings up the Reveal
protection,
like overlay, right? Like just talk a little bit about how that works.
Yeah. So we're built in a couple of different technologies. We have technology grant with Hedera, the HBAR Foundation, as well as Near Protocol. Our token, which is launched on KuCoin, which is super exciting, and we bridged over to Binance. The main core technology is at the creation level. So you got to start at the core. And so prior to the minting, or the minting is when it goes to the blockchain, and that really validates provenance of ownership, right? You have a history of the ownership. But it doesn't, if you started out with fraud and then you minted it, you'd still be minting fraud and selling fraud and confirming you have fraud. So at the image level, we're integrating a Reveal ID, if you will, or a marker that cross-references the Reveal hash on our everything we integrate, and it goes into the database, or the IPFS. We're actually going to be creating a specific time, date, stamp, and a crypt, all kinds of things that are embedded inside of that image. What could be a PFP, it could be a picture, a digital land, an avatar. It can be just about anything that's a digital, even digital audio, video. And now we're able to later on, through layers of security, because the way security works is through multiple different layers. Because if a hacker wants your stuff bad enough, they're going to get it. But the majority of people, they just don't want what you have. The way that they stop a lot of people is that They look to see how many layers of security you put on there, and they're like, oh my God, this is too difficult. I'd rather just try something that is a lot simpler, and I will just go straight into doing it that way, because I don't want to deal with the person who has, at the front of your house, you have a guard dog, and then you have, tons and tons of security in the background, and people with guns and all kinds of, sounds going off and lights. Probably going to go to another place, because that's going to be so much difficult to get through. So we're putting technology in place that allows us to have multiple layers of security to authenticate anywhere on an NFT platform, like an NFT marketplace. We're going to have our own security-centric marketplace as well that people will be able to authenticate on, gaming platforms, and into the metaverse. So to answer your question, we imagine in the future you had a drone in your pocket and you threw it up in the air and it had a laser scanner that was behind you, scanning your environment to see if something's safe or not for you to interact with. That's where the future is going. Where it's going to start at is at that creation level of us to put in something that is blockchain agnostic. It simply means that we don't care if you're on Ethereum or Polygon or Solana or Hedera or XRP. We don't care what you're on. Our technology goes in at the creation, at the actual point where the artist creates it. So we're a B2B solution with a B2C brand. So business to business solution with a business to customer brand. Down the road, we plan on being a business to customer brand across the board, like a Norton or a McAfee. And our goal is to, I don't know if you guys know this or not, cost between 150 million to 250 million to build a worldwide recognizable brand like Coca-Cola, Google, Facebook. In our space, it's not that big. It's growing, but it isn't that big yet. So it only costs between maybe 10 to 25 million, and you can get everybody. And the space is growing like crazy, but we wanted to make security sexy again, right? So not everybody wants to care about layer 0, layer 1, layer 2. They don't care about web 1, web 2, web 3. What they care about is they have peace of mind. They have something in a brand that they can trust, and then they can sleep at night knowing that their wallet is and their assets are real and they're safe. And I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, awesome. We've got just a couple more minutes here. But so you're saying that this happens at the inception of the NFT. Is there a way to, like, if you already have an existing NFT, that there's some additional security that you can layer on top of that, or does it have to be at the inception?
Well, not to confuse everybody, but we actually can integrate before at creation. That's the best place to integrate, but we can actually re-authenticate also later. We actually can, after minting, again, we don't want to roll this out. It's part of Reveal 360, but we'll be able to authenticate and re-authenticate all the billions of dollars of NFTs out there. We can increase the value by actually providing confirmation that they are real and they're authentic, which is kind of insane, right? So the future is the ability to have basically a blue check mark, green check mark, a stamp that what you bought was the real deal. So maybe you already did buy it and you already did mint it. We just do a light remint and change the IPFS, interplanetary file system, where they store the hashing. A lot of times people talk and they talk above everybody and they talk about acronyms all the time. I try to explain to people what things are when you say these 3-digit and 4-digit acronyms. It's confusing. So those of you that don't know, when anytime you mint something, there's a hash that's created, and it's a unique identifier that goes to a system that is massive that allows you to have that available so you can reference back. So when it mints, it's not actually minting or putting on the blockchain the actual artwork. It's referencing a link to that artwork, in case you guys didn't know. So we're protecting at the creation level, and we can also protect it after the fact, after it's minted. Answer?
Excellent. Yes, thank you. And we've got 1 or 2 more minutes. Do you want to briefly touch on your IDO and what that experience was like? And it was insane, because
market
environments, like anything is
insane. The environment was what's the best way to put it? Anytime, and again, it's not financial advice for anybody. Anytime that you try to launch a project in a bear market, it's never easy. When you launch in a bear market, it is probably the most difficult time to launch. So I can tell you 2 things. One is that as an investor ourselves, the best time for anybody to do anything is really at the bottom of the market, right? You buy low and sell high. I mean, that's just common sense. And in regards to the market, only solid, strong projects are crazy enough and have the intestinal fortitude to launch in a bear market. That's number one. Number two, it's obviously
you're just so good that you can launch in any market, right?
Yeah, and on top of that, it's also a great time for everybody because in a bull market, you can launch just about anything and everyone's an expert, right? And everybody makes allegedly a ton of money. But then the bear market comes. It's inevitable. It's coming. And those projects drop and everybody drops and lose 90% of their value. If you start at the bottom of the bear or near the bottom of the bear market, not only is the company not sucking a bunch of money off the top, which is what happens a lot of times in a bull market, but they are riding it with you of the wave of growth into the next bull market. Now, again, not financial advice, but it's a great time to be involved in the project is at the beginning of the project when you actually can grow as they roll out the technology. We're 3-4 months out from our MVP, minimum viable product. And we're super excited about, some of the major promotions. We're going to be out. And those of you that are going to be in LA, can you guys hear me? You guys going to be in LA? We're going to be at an event in LA and it's going to be
we got folks in LA. So yeah, for sure.
29th and the 30th. There's a huge NFT expo out there that we're going to be at. And I think we're going to be part of like a 200-foot booth. We're 200 square foot. Super excited about getting the name out there for Reveal as a trusted brand, kind of like Kleenex, right? You don't think of tissue, you think of the name Kleenex. Hopefully for security for the future, you think of Reveal. And, it's a name that, when I think of proof of good, by the way, guys, I think it's such a great idea because every time I go someplace, I say, would you like to give money to this Red Cross or that? And I don't know where that money's going, right? I want to know that if I'm going to be putting my money into something that is going where we say it's going to go. Also, 4% of our tokenomics are going to charity. They're going to partnerships that are actually helping making humanity better, right? We are putting ourselves in a situation where we have 3 areas we really care about. One is making our environment better. So we have carbon credit companies that are working to make the world a better place. We have projects that are actually working to educate and protect our children, both of their human rights and where they're going. And then we have also, even with the Hedera HBAR Foundation, we even have grants, not only for our technology, but also to help starving artists and help educate and bring awareness to this space. So we truly, truly believe in giving back. And so I know that's what you guys are all about. Being a proof of good is an amazing idea. I think that they should do the same thing for politics. I think they should put all that on the chat blockchain and proof of vote. But either way, I think that one day it should happen. I think people would believe that if it can happen and it will. Not to go political on that, but I would say that we're in interesting macro and microeconomic times. We're coming into a potential high inflation rate. Some of the bank runs around the world. There's a lot of things going on. And I think there's a lot of opportunity right now. I think that people that are willing to invest into the future where things are in regards to the metaverse and their early adopters, regardless of in the gold rush, they didn't make all the money getting the gold. They got all the money with the picks and shovels and the infrastructure that built the mines, that brought the gold to the mines, that serviced the people that went to the mines. That's where the money is built. That's where the wealth is built. And that's hopefully where we're positioned. We're like Switzerland. That's why we have 58 partners right now and counting. I think by next week, we'll have like 65. Our goal is in the next 60 days to have 100 partners as a company. We work with 4 major metaverses. If those of you that don't know, we work with TCG World. We work with Metaverse, METAVRSE, the mall of the Metaverse. We work with Blockchain Valley Virtual, which is a smart city in a virtual world that's out of Dubai. And we are also working with Otherverse. And Otherverse is a 15 years, 32 billion transaction. Brian Schuster is one of our advisors, and that world is going to be rolling out in a big way. You're going to see a lot about them. They had 77 patents in the metaverse space, and they actually were able to actually sue Epic Fortnite for the Travis Scott concert, and it's all public knowledge. And they won. Let me rephrase it. They're settling, right? Because the patents were so strong, and so I want to be in a position where we're connected with the best of the best, and we're partnered with them. So Metaverse, we have Alan Smithson, who's the godfather of XR, as one of our advisors. We have an incredible advisory board that I encourage you guys to take a look. I'm sure we could share our link tree and see a little bit about all of our team members. We got amazing background and people that are my partner in crime, Mo, I mean, he's been in this space alongside with me, arm to arm, and going through all the same scams that I've been through, a lot of the same things that we've experienced together. And so we both agree that this is a space that needs to be protected, and hopefully we're there to do it for you. So
yeah, I mean, I think everybody agrees that it's a space that needs to be protected. And I do promise we are going to wrap this up, but we do have a question from Bandito asking about if Reveal can be used to authenticate NFTs that are used to represent provenance of a physical asset, like a collectible or art.
So the word provenance, right? Provenance is provenance of ownership, but we can use it to historically hold the creation data and take that provenance, not just of ownership, but from the actual creator, and then put that into an encrypted below the metadata in the image forensics. And so we can add that in. And the answer is yes, we can.
I mean, that's because, I mean, then you really are in an insurance world, right? Because if it gets taken in the physical world, you can still be like, hey, I have my Reveal chip that tells me that I own this.
I have this history of everything that's in it that I'm able to now go reference back to say, if God forbid anything happens, I now have that insurance to say, yes, I'm the real owner of this.
Owner of this physical asset.
Yeah, and not just the owner, but I've got it from the creator.
Right.
And some of the things that are already out there, the creators passed away, right? So somebody has to authenticate that as well. So that has to do with the provenance of the previous ownership back to the person who created it.
That's well, Adams, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about Reveal and your project. Very excited for you getting to your MVP, and we'll continue to look for ways that we can coordinate. What we're doing in Proof of Good and what you're doing in Reveal. I mean, honestly, I feel like there's just so much use for it, especially because like the insurance space. I know I keep going to it, but it's just there needs to be a solution there, and I feel like you're building toward that. And it's just like a lot of room for and need for your
next natural progression is to go towards that space. A lot of the big time investors, a lot of the people that are looking for the security that needs to be there in order for them to have that value of that asset that they can actually collateralize, leverage against, and use. And that's the key.
Right. And I think once that's in place, you'll get more people coming, more investment, more people that get comfortable with the space, and that just benefits all of us who are already here. So,
and we're protecting against rug pulls, which is a huge thing as well. We do have some potential anti-rug pull as part of our suite, but we won't talk about that. We have some really cool stuff in our suite of products we're building out, but we believe to start at A, not at Z. If you're going A to Z, right? You got to start where you're at, and we're going to build from there.
Well, I think this is a large part of the conversation in Web3 also is the decentralized identity and building reputation. It's very easy for bad actors to create another identity within the Web3 space, but it's very difficult to accumulate a good reputation, which is something that we are also working towards as well. And I see a huge collaboration or dovetailing with both of our projects, at least in that space. If you want to maintain this positive reputation with your digital identity or decentralized identity, this is where these conversations are where the future of a decentralized web or a Web3 is being built. And so again, Adam, I just wanted to say thank you, because I've been quiet, just listening and kind of drinking it in like a sponge. And I just wanted to say thank you again and interject just.
No, I appreciate that. And you're right, 100%. Matter of fact, I actually had a meeting that I had to reschedule because this interview was last minute for one of our proof of existence partners that actually does the identity side of it. And there's a little bit of chain analysis going on in the back end because, how do you prove it really is a person or AI? There's some stuff that has to go into that. But question.
Yeah, awesome. So we put the link to reveal.io with a 3 instead of the second E. I think we have that in the chat, and we'll certainly be in touch and make sure we can have you back here again when you got your MVP and you're ready to demo.
We would absolutely love to be on your space and share the demo when it's ready to rock and roll. And feel free to come out and visit us out in LA. And make sure you only use our approved socials. And we saw even ourselves. Yeah, we had 10 different websites. We had other, because we were on multiple launch pads. We had launch pads that were fake. I mean, there's a lot of fraud out there, and so it's really important you validate and verify. I'm going to do one PSA before I go. I think it's important.
Yeah.
And I did a talk on this as well, and when I was over in Vegas about QR codes. Just real quick. Those of you that don't know about a QR code and understand that when you scan a QR code, no matter where it is, only make sure you trust the source that you're scanning it from, because it's basically the same as me texting you a link and clicking on it and it opens. And if it was a Trojan or it was malicious code or it was anything else, I literally, if I was a hacker, I could take over your phone, I could take over your wallet, I could take over everything you have just by scanning a QR code. So I want you to be very, very cautious. And when you do go to an event, there's only 2 apps that actually have an actual scanner built into the app, which is WhatsApp and LinkedIn. And those of you that know how to get there on LinkedIn, you just click the search bar, or on the Apple, it's on the right side. On the top is a little QR code, because at least you're inside the app. Because if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, scan my code, and you don't really know them, they could easily be a malicious link. So you do have to be very careful. And I think that that's important. We share that with more people, because people are like,
didn't know that.
In the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, let me scan here. Look at that.
No.
Whoa, they're like scanning everywhere. And at the end of the day, it's really actually kind of dangerous, especially.
I actually didn't know that. So, I mean,
you go to a restaurant and there's a QR code for the
person.
You're at the table. Somebody they literally could tape a QR code right over top of the menu. They could literally spoof the menu in the phone and then drop an execute file on your phone and take over what they want. I know, it's crazy, right? So
that's why Jeff keeps all of his crypto in a cold wallet. So
and he's right about the charger wallets. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to somebody who was at an event. They needed a charger. It was a real nice girl. They went up to him and said, hey, can I use your charger? I need it for literally like 10, 20 minutes. Plugged it in. He had, I kid you not, he had 2 BTC in his wallet. The next day, he goes to check his wallet, and it was drained out of his wallet because he connected. Because it authorized the data, and it looked like it just said power, but it actually authorized the data in the background.
Wow.
And they got access to it. See, look at this. I definitely scan random QR codes into street posts in New York City. Absolutely. That's crazy. There's so many people that actually do this. I've seen it. I've seen it myself. They're scanning them all over the place. Most people just don't fully understand it's kind of scary.
Absolutely.
I just realized all these questions in the bottom. That's pretty cool.
That's okay. All right. Well, Adam, we have to move on with the DAO Hall, but thanks again for your time, and certainly look forward to having you back. So thank you.
Oh, it was my pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful rest of the night, and take care, guys. Appreciate you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
All right. So that was great for Adam to come and give us an intro there. What we wanted to update everyone, for those who don't know, is we have been talking about being able to write good acts to the blockchain, and we have finally done it. We've gotten there. We can do it. Woohoo! I know it's been a long time coming, but this is a real breakthrough. This is how it starts. This is where we show the Web3 world that this is possible and is now a reality. So thanks to the engineering team. I know it's been lots of man hours of hard work and everything to get us to where we are right now. A lot of them are on vacation right now, well deserved after such an accomplishment. And I believe we have a demo video that Nico put together to walk through how it works. After the video, I'll give a quick update on where we're going to go from here. Jeff, do you have that video able to roll?
Yep. So let's see. I'm gonna stream this in just a second. The quality of the video was compressed because it is a 14-minute long video product update from Nico. Nico, our product lead, and so we just take that in mind, that it is compressed, but it is his update because at the 9 p.m. He is well on to sleep at 3 a.m. So without further ado, I'm going to mute. I can't mute before I go off cam. I'm going to share this momentarily. And Devin, if you want to jump in, feel free. But Nico has the narration here as well.
Everyone. All right. So today I'm going to talk to you about the proof of good ledger. I just want to kind of let you know that we've released the very first version of the ledger in the production website. So you just need to go to proofofgood.io in here, ignore the DAO. So that's the website. And here you will see a new tab that is called Ledger. So that's what it's all about right now. So before we start going into the details of that, I just want to remind that in order to get things recorded on the ledger, so good deeds recorded on the ledger, we need to be working with oracles. And so far, the only oracles that has been approved and agreed to work with proof of good is Leyline. So just a reminder that here you can see all the snapshot proposal that have been submitted and approved or rejected on the DAO. And if I just go to this one, so the line Oracle elimination, that's where you can see it was approved quite some time ago. And if you click on the discourse link, you will see all the details of the goodies that you can do via these oracles and the number of good points that you can get. So you have different categories. Some are coming through Discord, some are coming through just a spreadsheet for volunteers and community members and staff that are just volunteering some hours. Some are educational workshops, you donate, etc., and all the manual verification that you can submit through the Google form. All right, so that's just a reminder to let you know that if you need to refer to the kind of good deeds that will be approved on the POG, they should be part of a proposal and approved on the snapshot. All right, so that being said, what I'm going to show you now is the public ledger. So before I do that, I actually need to do a good deed first. So I'm just going to go on Leyline. I'm authenticated with a user that I just simulated with for the purpose of this demo. That's the one. So that page is the back office. And I will assume that I've done some good deed with that user. All right, so that's just for test purposes. But I will just say I've donated blood. So once you enter unit in here, it just automatically put the number of points associated, and I will just submit that. The points are added for that user. So obviously, through the different good deeds that you submit or do through Discord or manually submit through spreadsheet and so on, there is a validator that is kind of reviewing that the entries are getting. You actually have this kind of form that is available on the front end of Leyline, where you need to enter all your details, your receipt, what did you do, and so on. Then it comes to our database, someone reviews it, and grants you the points, which I've done, which I've just showed you in here. So that's how it works. Now I'm just going to check on the Leyline ecosystem that with that account, I actually received the good points, which is the case. All right, here we go. So that's the good points that have been granted to me. My balance now is updated. Okay, so that's nothing changed on that side because you've been probably doing some good deeds already with Leyline within your accounts. And now if I go back to Proof of Good, which is different website, different protocol, but integrated with Leyline. Now, if I go on the ledger in here, you will see that there are all the different goodies that are coming through the different oracles, and in that case, Leyline, they will be recorded in here. So right now, it just takes quite some time to load because there is a lot of data that is being stored and being read at this time from the blockchain and the database. So we will probably try to optimize that in the near future. But again, this is the very first release. So hopefully we can just work on improving that quite soon. As you can see in that page, I am not connected with my MetaMask wallet. So everyone can access that page by just going to proofofgood.io/ledger. Here we go, it's loading. All right. So in here, I see that my good deed has been coming through. And this was donate blood. This has a wallet address associated. This has category associated, number of good points, oracle from which is coming through, and the UNSDG category related, which if you click, just redirect you to the official UNSDG website and explain to which kind of category you've been contributing to. Now back to that specific URL. That's the one that shows that it has been recorded on the blockchain and that is available in Polygon Scan. Then you can see in here specifically for that wallet address, the different transactions that have been coming through. All right, so that's the actual public ledger. And now I'm just going to show you the connected view, which we have a number of other features that we are working on. So what you need to do in here is just authenticate through your MetaMask wallet address. And that will just get you some kind of different view. All right, so in here, this is the wallet address associated to my MetaMask that I've just been authenticated with. And as you can see in here, it's a different wallet address because right now we don't know yet who I am and what good deeds I've done because they've been done through Leyline and just through an email address on Leyline side. So when we don't know your wallet address at the time you submit the good deeds, we just create a custodial wallet address. And we record, though, your email address with which you've done the good deed. And now you will have to do what we call the heal up account. So you have a notification in here to do that. And this will redirect you to the profile. You will have to do what we call the heal up account. So you have a notification in here to do that. And this will redirect you to the profile. Heal up account. So you have a notification in here to do that. And this will redirect you to the profile. Also, you have notification that and we send a redirect to the profile. Also, you have notification that and we send a redirect to the profile.
I think we may be experiencing some minor audio difficulties.
I apologize about this. Seeing the tractors. Cool. Okay, so now I verify my email. I click on the link in here. This should be looking a bit nicer if you use Gmail or any other proper mailbox address. All right, so this is still loading for now. Okay, so in theory, this should be recognize you as connected. Okay, so that was just taking a bit of time to load, but I was actually connected already, so ignore my actions in here. And I just get this notification saying that my email has been verified. All right, so now this is associated. Now my account is healed up. So now it should recognize that I am the user who've been doing the good deeds on Leyline site, and that I've been coming in here and authenticating myself. So again, takes a bit of time. I just noticed I'm not connected anymore. So maybe it's just because it opened a new page, but the connection state should stay up normally. So I guess we will need to look into that. It happens from time to time, depending on the kind of MetaMask setup that you have. But I think we should just keep the connection on all the time. All right, so here we go. This has loaded. And now the exact same good deed that I was doing before has been updated with the account setup that I've been doing. So what I was doing is I verified my email. I put POG username. I could have put an avatar, and this would also be showing in here. But now you will see that this is associated to my account, and this has been granted to me now. Okay, so I'm just gonna authenticate again. Again, ideally the authentication state should really be staying up. Okay, cool. So that's actually been working. So I'm authenticated now. And I'm gonna show you this other thing, which is just a filter on my personal profile, on my personal ledger, let's say. And in here, this should just show the good deeds that I've been doing personally with that account, now that they're being recognized. Right now, it's just the exact same display as the public ledger, but just a filter on your own personal good deeds. So again, we need to work on the optimization of the data. But if everything works properly, it should just show my good deed that I've done. Okay, so it doesn't show yet right now. Maybe it didn't yet update properly, but in theory, as we were seeing before on the ledger, this has been recognized. So maybe it's just a matter of time. But in here, it should just show the actual blood donation that I've done. So again, we have a few glitches here and there, but that's how everything is working right now. This is your profile settings. Before, those links were not available in production, now they are. So yeah, if you go through the same process that I've actually been going through now, you should see the same thing as me. So yeah, use your email address that you are using on Leyline to kind of heal up your account in here, and then you will be just getting things updated at this stage. And there was just one small thing as well, which is not coming up yet. It's going to take a bit more time to load, but we've been working also on kind of displaying your balance in here. Once the good deed have been recognized on the public ledger, your points that you are getting rewarded to are also going to be displayed in here on the Proof of Good website. And yeah, once you've got your points, then we hope that in the near future, we'll be able to get to build some features so that you can use those points. The idea will be to spend your points on different things so that you can get NFTs, and that with those NFTs you can get access to some specific rewards or to the DAO, and then based on the kind of NFT that you get, you will be able to level up those NFTs, and that's really the idea. But so far, what we've been doing with this MVP version is just record all the goodies that are being done from an Oracle into the ledger, and record them and grant the points associated to that specific user. So that's it for me. That's really what I wanted to show you today. Thank you, everyone.
Amazing. And sorry about that little mic hiccup as well. Yeah, so this is really what the product team and Nico, Osip, and the developers and the engineers have been working towards. Let's see who else is on channel. Okay. And this allows us to take the next step for Discord, so that there is a clear on-ramp for users to be able to generate good points as well for them. You can go to proofofgood.io and see the work that the developers and engineers and the UX and the UI team have been working towards right now, and see the updates that Nico was just addressing.
Yeah, I mean, and don't take Nico's calm demeanor the wrong way. This is pretty exciting. I mean, we are able to write good deeds to the ledger. We can create this immutable catalog of good that you have done and that all people that join the proof of good have done. And that's a really big and important thing, and a big important step, for proof of good and what we're trying to do. And my laptop got so excited that it busted a gasket, so I had to come back in on phone to be able to rejoin the meeting. But what this allows us to do, and Nico kind of talked about it toward the end, is we can now start to reward people that are in our community for the good acts that they're doing. And Leyline is the first oracle where good points can be used to spend in the metaverse. And we have one of the updates that I wanted to talk about, and we're getting close here on time, so I'll be very brief. Is we do have a partner that has agreed to have good points be a usable currency in their game. It's a Web3 game on Polygon. We will talk a little bit more about it at the next DAO Hall. We're going to try to get the head of the game to come talk about the game, talk about ways to use your good points and to spend them, and that's just the beginning. So in addition to that, one of the things that Adam talked about was the proof of existence and kind of this idea of creating an identity in the metaverse, and that's something that we think is very important as well, right? So I think we've talked about this before, but we are exploring ways to make the membership NFTs soul bound, so that good points you can earn and you can spend, but at the same time there's also value to all of the good that you've done, right? So if you have this soul bound NFT, which is representation of all of the good that you have done, there's other uses for that as well, right? So so maybe there's a way for that to decrease the amount of tokens that you have to stake for credit reasons in a certain protocol, because you've done so much good in the world, and you're a verified human being, and not a bot or a robo identity. There's value to that, and so outside of just being able to earn good points and buy NFTs or upgrade NFTs or purchase skins in a game or what have you, there's also the idea that the reputation that you're building in your Pog Pack with a identifier, a proof of existence identifier, meaning there's only one of this Pog Pack and this person who's earned these many good points. There's a lot of value to that we think we'll be able to unlock now that we have the ability to write good points to the ledger. It's just the beginning, but it's what we needed to jumpstart all of this. So, we are, now that we've got the product ready to go, we are working behind the scenes to partner with some additional games. We've got the first one sort of ready to go. We're looking to sort of spread that across many games on the Polygon chain, and on top of that, work toward building out the token that will be that we will be using for the protocol. So I know we went a little bit long, started a little bit late, but thought that it was very important to have our guest speaker talk about kind of where this space is headed, and why it's so important to make sure that you are doing good and part of a good project that sees where this space will be years from now, and you're building toward that, toward the good side of it, as opposed to all the fraudulent side, as well as to show the demo release from Nico. He couldn't be on today, but it was so important, like Jeff stated, that had to do the video for it. So stay tuned.
Exciting update. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's such an exciting update. I know that this is what the product, the UX UI team have been working towards for so long, and it's required so many different business units, not just the ledger, but also the website. There's been so many different business units that have been participating in this, and to see it all kind of launch and come to fruition at once, it's quite remarkable, and it instills a lot of confidence, certainly within me, on what we're doing. And so I have a few updates on marketing to continue that on the ground type impact. But Devin, I didn't mean to interrupt before, so I've got a few as well.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I was done. I was just excited about it, and just cut me off.
Well, I know it wasn't in the highest resolution, but it was a 14-minute video, and we wanted to make sure that we could get it in. And big shout out to Nico, who couldn't be here today, but was equally excited about making sure that product update came in for today's DAO Hall. He contacted Devin and I and make sure that he recorded a video on private. And again, going back to your point, Devin, maybe his excitement in that video doesn't really express the sprints that have gone into churning out this product during a bear market, during a crash, during a crypto winter, and it's remarkable work. And I mean, go to proofofgood.io and test around yourself. I mean, it's great. This is
he was probably just exhausted. I mean, they've been working so hard.
So hopefully they go to, I don't know, Lisbon or Manila, or they go to a holiday city and have a holiday for themselves, because this is a great stretch that takes us across the next milestone, right?
Absolutely.
So some quick updates over on the marketing side. And I'm going to turn this over to Will for the events side of the discussion. But really quick, with respect to time, I'm going to try to keep this short, under 5 minutes. Okay, the investor and Oracle deck are continued development. They're in really good shape, and we have a lot of the business development and strategic partnership network that are giving us feedback, that are also investors themselves. We've been advised how to accept investors and maybe go for the marathon, not necessarily the sprint, in terms of investors, which will give some longevity. So all that is still under development. We haven't hit the final version of that yet, but we have people actively working on that, both internally and externally. Business development and strategic partnerships. I believe Chris is on the call, and him and Al and Devin and myself, we're working, and Will are working in various, and Jamie and Rara are all working in various outlets to both increase our exposure, but also to increase our inbound interest with investors, strategic partners, and potentially oracles. With this newest development from Nico, we have a new reason to reach out with those strategic partnerships and business development efforts, right? There's now something to do on the on-ramp or onboarding for people to come to our Discord. And Elijah is diligently working on building that out in a similar fashion as you would have seen previously over on Leyline. But to be able to award good points in a similar fashion to Leyline in the past, our sister and in some degrees mother organization, we have now the equipment and the utility to be able to deploy a lot of the same reasons to come back to our Discord, to our community, to record on the ledger the good acts that you are doing. So this is a huge, huge development. This sets us up for what I would consider a stage 2 from where we were previously. The membership packs are in great development. We are constantly monitoring and developing the strategic, constantly monitoring the market for a good entry point and taking advisement both internally and externally for the deployment of the membership packs, which will have some governance, not the same as the co-ownership, but a membership pack and some voting rights associated with those membership packs. The art associated with those, we've had great reception, and I believe that art will be finished or finalized within the next week, maybe 2, depending on the artist, and the strategic planning about that deployment as an NFT collection. We are working both with product and we're working externally, and we want to make this a banger, right? So this is one of our revenue sources. So we are looking into that. The mascot contest, for those that don't know, there were some issues with the mascot contest with licensing rights, and that is being adjudicated by the counselors board. There are internal core team meetings about how to approach that. You can expect that there will be some discourse conversations that are happening within the next couple of weeks, as well as some votes that are coming up regarding that mascot. If you are unfamiliar, namely the mascot that we had previously chosen as our mascot had some issues associated with it, and it was borrowed off a licensed or license available product piece of art, and we don't want to open ourselves up to bad actors or other companies using a similar product to that. So there's more to come on that, and there will be some discourse and snapshot votes for the DAO that Devin, you and I, as well as the counselors board, need to discuss. We have a plan of action. We just need approval on that. And so stay tuned regarding that. In the meantime, everything is kind of on hold. More actionable. During the course of this meeting, you may have seen on our Twitter account, there is a new referral contest that has just been launched. And so this is a nice way to help us build our community. We have seen great results within our community from these similar type of campaigns in the past. And so we are reiterating that style of campaign, a referral contest. The difference with this is that it's going to be a $100 USD equivalent in Matic paid out to the winner, which will be a random draw, similar to the previous referral contest, which means follow us on Twitter, retweet the link, and retweet the tweet, and follow us on Discord, and invite 10 friends to our Discord channel. This is a hybrid from some of our different communities, and the payout for this will be $100 Matic to you, and also $100 equivalent in the accepted currency of choice to an accredited or eligible women's rights organization or LGBTQIA+ organization. So this is one of the ways that we are able to both grow our community while also making some difference in the world. And I highly encourage all of you to enter, to invite everyone, and to bring like-minded friends into the DAO, as well as to enter for their chance or their opportunity to participate and potentially win. This is the first marketing campaign that has an equal 50-50 footing for the winner payout, as well as a social rights organization payout. And so we're looking to test out the results of this, but given some of the recent news, we thought that this would be a timely issue, and it's a bit less timely than it was 3 weeks ago, but this is the way that we are orchestrating it now with authentication and verification from our treasury to be able to do so. So if you are watching this right now, let me just drop the link over here in our YouTube, and please participate. Again, so this is going to be a payout $100 to the winner, as well as $100 to the approved or eligible and legitimate women's rights or LGBTQIA+ rights organization of your choice. It doesn't have to be US specific. It could be anywhere all over the world, so long as it's an established or accredited organization. So really excited about that. This campaign is going to go on for 2 weeks, and we expect to see a lot of participation out of it. So please circulate within friends, circulate within like-minded colleagues within the Web3 community. And I think with that, we can probably turn, let me just check my notes. All set. We can turn it back over to Will for our events update.
Awesome. Well, listen, I won't hold you all up on too much, because I think the real news today was the ledger. I'm like over the moon about this, so I think we're definitely going to need to talk about it in the Twitter space tomorrow. But for anybody who's interested, every day at 4:20 Pacific, California time, we're on Twitter Spaces talking about all things DAOs, NFTs, crypto, art, activism, and entrepreneurship. So if that kind of conversation sounds like something you want to take part in, we'll be there. We're doing that every single day at 4:20 p.m. Pacific, except for Fridays. It's 4:20 Eastern, and we give marketing and consulting help to folks who need it and don't have the funds for it. So definitely come through. Retweet, show love to the DAO. We want to see some, big turnouts from the DAO, y'all. But otherwise, we have the happy hour as always on Friday. Proof of Good games going on Friday. So if you're a little bit earlier in the US, if you're in a different time zone and it works out better for you, that's 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time on Friday, this Friday, and all Fridays, unless we let you know it will be happening. And what a day. My God, the ledger. Let's go.
What a great release. It's fantastic.
Seriously.
Excellent. I know we started a little bit late, and we ran a little bit late, so apologies for that. But you know, it's been worth the wait. You know, it's taken some time, but we finally have done it. And you know, as you can tell, we're all excited about it. This does turn the page and put us in the next phase, the next step, like Jeff alluded to. So with that, Jeff, anything else?
I have no closing thoughts.
All right.
No, it's just I mean, the ledger. It's amazing. This is we've been waiting on this product update for so long, and it puts us in a whole different position space. So I'm really looking forward to all the work that lies ahead for Proof of Good and Leyline, our oracles, our partners, our investors. I mean, everything is kind of on the plate for us right now.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, and now is when the hard work starts. But you know, for anybody who has been you know, in the community and has been like with us for the long haul and just kind of you know, waiting to invite your friends, now let everybody know you can do good and get rewarded, and it will be a permanent record on the blockchain, and it's only going to just get bigger from here. So so thanks everyone for joining and for listening, and we'll see you at the next DAO Hall.
Woo! Let's go, the ledger. It's out.